Good morning. So today I'm going to discuss with you the meaning of sacred mantra and also share with you a meditation that we can do together here on this podcast and that you can do later also. That if you do it with diligence, I think you will transform your life and live in a state of higher consciousness and have an awakening. So I'm very serious about this, and everything I say is quite literal. So first of all, sacred mantra is any mantra that brings you higher consciousness. The word mantra comes from two roots, man and tra. Man means mind, and it's the Hindi Sanskrit word for mind, but it also is the root sound for human or woman. So we are self-aware creatures, and wherever we have an experience, we bring our mind to it. Tra mantra is an instrument of the mind that takes us beyond the mind into higher consciousness. Somebody says, my favorite mantra is Om Bhur Swaha. Okay, we can discuss that later. Okay, so once again, mantra is an instrument of the mind that takes us beyond the mind into the field of awareness. And once we go into the field of awareness, we can experience higher consciousness. Okay, the second point I want to make before we go into this meditation is that our essential nature is the light of awareness. Without awareness, you cannot have any experience. So I mentioned in the past that the two most open questions in science, one is, what's the universe made of? And there is no answer to this because as we look at the universe, dark energy, dark matter, atomic universe, we end up with actually nothing. So that it would be very clear that the universe at its ground level is nothing, zero point energy field. So it is nothing material, but it is the possibility of everything that is not only experienced as material, but also experienced as mental. Nothing is not an empty void. Nothing is the womb of creation. So when Rumi says, we come spinning out of nothingness, scattering stars like dust, he's speaking about the nothingness from where we all come. In another poem, Rumi says, look at these worlds spinning out of nothingness. This is you. And so, and on and on, Rumi has great expressions for this. He says, beyond all ideas of right and wrong, there's a field, I'll meet you there. Okay, so nothing is the eternal possibility. Nothing is the immeasurable potential of all that was, all that is, and all that will ever be. That's the root and ground of the universe. So that's the first open question, which has no answer if you look at it from a materialistic point of view or a physicalist point of view. The second open question is, what is the biological basis of consciousness? And I have discussed elsewhere that there is no biological basis of consciousness. In fact, our biology is an expression of consciousness. That's another discussion. We can have it elsewhere, but basically there's no biological basis of consciousness because consciousness is the fundamental ground of being in which all experience happens, including the experience of our own biology. Okay, so here is my answer to the two open questions of science. Number one, then ground and being of the universe is the nothingness that becomes everything, and that nothingness is actually awareness, is consciousness. So there is existence and there is awareness of existence, which gives rise to experience, so they're both the same thing. This may all sound abstract till we do our meditation, okay? So before we do the meditation, let me also just quote a little bit from spiritual literature. So when Moses encounters the burning bush and he encounters the voice of God, he says to God, "What's your name?" And the answer that comes back is, "I am that I am. I am that I am." Once again, when Moses asks God's name, God's answer is, "I am that I am." In the New Testament, Jesus says, "I am the light of the world." But elsewhere he also says, "You are the light of the world." So that is there in all Western religion. I am. But elsewhere Jesus also says in the New Testament, before Abraham was, I am. I am. So this is the sacred mantra, I am. I am could create visual images. So in Sanskrit it becomes Om, 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 Om. The presence of awareness in all things conceived, thought of, imagined, felt, sensed, and experienced. Because everything that you experience happens in awareness, and the knowing of experience also happens in awareness. You have never experienced anything outside of awareness. Of course, many insights we have come through the experiences of others, but there is no experience, mental, cognitive, perceptual, in the absence of awareness. I am is the light of awareness that manifests the perceptual and mental world. I hesitate to call it physical world because at its root it's not physical, it's just qualities of awareness that we have called qualia in the past. Qualia, qualities of awareness. Okay, so now let's try some things to experience, then I'll take you through a meditation. Let's, and you don't have to close your eyes for this, but you can close your eyes, or you can still have a unfocused awareness of me right now, and I want you to do something mental, okay? So imagine in your mind's eye a beautiful sunset on the ocean. So you can see a beautiful sunset on the ocean. How did you do that? Well, you had the intention, right? Before that sunset on the ocean existed as a possibility in your awareness. And as soon as you imagined it, a picture showed up on the screen of consciousness. There was no picture in your brain, incidentally, so the picture was on the screen of your consciousness. In your brain there were electrochemical impulses. So what happened? You had an intention, and then your awareness self-interacted with itself to create the experience of a picture of a sunset on the ocean. Now try that with any other mental experience. Let's keep visual experiences for the moment. So imagine a candle with a flame in a dark room. You see a picture, right? Again, there's no picture in your brain. All you did was have a thought, and then consciousness interacted with itself to produce that picture in consciousness, on the screen of consciousness, not in the brain. There was only electrochemical activity in the brain. Now you can think of any sound. So think of the sound of the voice of your mother. You don't have to close your eyes. You can just hear it. Hear the voice of your mother. You hear something, right? There's nothing in your brain that would suggest a sound, but you experience a subtle sound in consciousness. You hear a voice in consciousness. So what happened? You had an intention, and then awareness interacted with itself and produced a memory of your mother's voice. Try that with any other sound. Think of a church bell ringing in the solitude of the evening. Same thing. There's no sound in your brain, but you hear something. Subtle sound in your awareness, right? Okay. Now think of another sound. Think of a newborn baby and it's crying. And see both the image and hear the crying. Again on the screen of your consciousness. You're having a multisensory experience on the screen of your consciousness. A sound and the baby. The baby could be in a car, and you can also now see the car. You can try this with any other mental experience. We tried sound and form. Just think of the color red. You experience the color red on the screen of your consciousness, right? There's no color inside your brain. Okay, you can try this with taste. Think of the taste of chocolate ice cream. Strawberries, pineapple, coffee. You have an experience. You could think of a smell, think of the smell of a green meadow, a pine forest, Italian kitchen. So you're having an experience. Where is the experience happening? In consciousness. What's happening in the brain? Some chemistry. That's called the neural correlate of consciousness. Okay, so I think it's very clear that it is the light of awareness that brings these experiences into awareness through intention. Okay? All these mental experiences. But now let's discuss what we call perceptual experience. Look at any object in your environment, or just look at me, and you can look at my shirt, or you can look at that elephant in the back. Okay? So according to science, what's happening is there are photons coming from that object, from this object. There are photons coming from those objects, the elephant, and in this case the Deepak. And these photons are going into your retina, and then they're sending an electrical impulse to your brain. There's some chemistry in the brain, neurochemistry, but you're not experiencing photons, they're invisible. You're not experiencing the electrical current or action potential that's going to your brain. You're not experiencing the electrochemicals in the brain. What are you experiencing? You're experiencing a three-dimensional reality in space and time on the screen, but also now look around you. Look at all the objects in your room. Technically speaking, that's all photons. And you're not experiencing photons. You're experiencing a three-dimensional reality with color, with solidity, with possibly if you're in your kitchen, you can taste a pear, or you can taste an apple, or you can taste some food. Again, what's happening is chemicals are reacting with chemicals here and here. What's going to the brain is an electrical potential. What's happening in your brain is neurochemistry, but you are experiencing tastes and sounds and colors and forms and solid objects. Where is this experience happening? Not in your brain. Experience is happening in your consciousness, right? Because in your brain, the same thing is happening when you have a thought, electrochemistry. So when you put your attention on something, you convert photons into the experience of an object. When you eat mindfully, you convert the experience of chemicals into taste and smell. When you touch something, electrons bounce against electrons, and you convert the experience into a solid, tangible object, including your own body. Okay? Who's the you that does it? The you that does it is awareness. And how do you do it? Through attention. You put your attention on a particular you think object, but actually it's attention as in seeing, as in hearing, as in touching, as in tasting, and in smelling, that becomes the experience of the three-dimensional reality in space-time in your consciousness, on the screen of your consciousness, not in your brain. Okay? So you are the light of awareness that manifests the universe in the form of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, sense perceptions, raw experience, colors, sounds, tastes, smells, textures, and everything that we call a thought. You manifest the universe in every moment of experience. And who's you? You are the light of awareness. You are the light of awareness. I am that. You are that. All this is that. And that alone is. And the Sanskrit mantra for this is Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. In English, I am that. All this is that. That alone is. You are that. And what is that? It's the light of awareness. Okay, so this is what Moses said. I am that. I am. I am that. I am. I am is present in every experience as the light of awareness. The experience could be a thought, it could be a sensation, it could be an image, it could be a feeling, it could be a sense, perception, a sound, a texture, but I am is present in every experience, mental or physical. Without I am, what remains is a radically ambiguous and ceaselessly flowing quantum soup. And even that is an idea. Even that is a cognition. Even that is a form of perception in which I am is present. And I am is always now. I am is always now. Even an imagined thought of the future is now. An imagined memory of the past is now. Okay, so here's my meditation for today that could change your life. Look around you right now at every object that you can. So I am looking at the reflection of the elephant in my back, and then I'm saying, I am that. Look at any other object. Today as you walk by your office or on the street, look at an automobile or a person or a cloud or a rainbow and mentally say to yourself, I am that. By which we mean, I am the light of awareness present as that. Do you get it? Just sit still now and listen to any sounds. You can listen to the sound of my voice if you want by focusing on it, but if you focus on something else, then you won't be hearing my voice. You just have to focus on one thing at a time. Be aware of it. So experience any sound and say, I am that. Every sound that you hear, you are present in it as the light of awareness. Try it with any color, with any form, with any taste. When you taste something, taste the sweetness or the sourness or the bitterness or the pungency. And as you taste it, say, I am that. I am the light of awareness present as that taste, as that smell, as that texture. I am that. Mantra, Tat Tvam Asi. I am that. I am the light of awareness that manifests as the experience of the universe. And this experience of the universe includes what we call the body. The body is just a collection of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. It's the stars and galaxies. When you look at the sky and see the universe, what are you seeing? Photons. Okay, invisible photons that manifest in your awareness as the sun and the moon and the stars. Do you realize you're the light of awareness that is manifesting as infinite number of things, including stars, galaxies, sun, moon, earth, sky, trees, soil, water, in the form of raw sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. And you are present in them. Then out of that, you create a concept called a body, a concept called a universe, a concept called a galaxy, also in awareness. I am that, you are that, that alone is. Tat Tvam Asi. Okay. So try this meditation. In every object of experience, bring your presence into it and say, I am that. And by object of experience, I don't mean just sense objects, things that you can see and touch and taste and smell. I also mean mental objects, like thoughts, like emotions, like feelings. Okay, so that is the light of awareness in which experience occurs and in which experience is known, and that's all we have. We have experience and the knowing of experience, which is through self-interaction. I am that I am. I am the light of awareness present in all experience. Before Abraham was, I am. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. That's what Jesus said. I am that I am. So simple. But this is what caused the awakening of Nisargadatta Maharaj. He just hung on to that one idea, I am. I am present as the light of awareness in all that happens. That I am, the light of awareness, is the eternal possibility. It's the immeasurable potential of all that was, all that is, all that will ever be. And it is not in time, although it experiences itself as body, mind, and universe, which is in time. Hang on to that, and it will be your ticket to freedom. This is my meditation for today. I am that I am. Tat Tvam Asi.